Hi guys, today I'm joined with Football Operations Manager Mark Summerhill for a quick catch up on all things Borough related. Mark, it's great to have you on. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, James. Been a busy day and a busy early part of the evening trying to sort some bits, around the squad. But yeah, all good. Thank you.
Well, I think it's safe to say we've had quite a busy week all in all, because you actually had training yesterday. And how are all the boys shaping up? All looking forward to returning back to Privet Park?
Yeah, I think the boys are looking forward to it. I think it was nice to get back to training last night with Saturday's game being off, and then the Monday before being the Bognor game that was from the missed Saturday previous. I think it felt like we were getting back to a bit of normality with training on Tuesday. I know Pat and Joe were really pleased to get the guys back in. Yeah, they put on obviously a good session as they always do. Looking to work on some particular things, and that will lead into Thursday night. Again, another session before Saturday's game.
Well, you spoke a bit about returning back to normality there, and it looks as though we've kind of got through our injury crisis, with players like Kavanagh, Root and Vasmo all starting to be reintroduced back into the squad again. So I'm guessing it looks as though we've kind of got rid of our injury crisis. And do we have a lot more squad depth now ahead of Hendon?
We've had a bit of a hitch on the injury front with Charlie Wasmer. We're currently investigating a potential long-term injury. We're currently getting him assessed. And potentially looking like he might need a scan as well. But yeah, the other guys you mentioned have all returned to full training. Rui was back in training last night in full training. He's been on the bench a couple of times. But yeah, we don't carry the biggest squad in the league, that's for sure. We do need the majority of it, with the size of it, to be sort of fighting fit, and not just injuries but suspensions have hit us as well. But yeah, by and large, with the exception of Charlie, our sort of our injury problems look to have reduced.
Well, before we talk a bit more about the Hendon game, I just wanted to touch upon the last couple games. Last Saturday, the squad along with the fans travelled up to Hayes for the game. And how frustrating was it for the boys to have the game called off so late on?
It was incredibly frustrating. I'm still miffed about it now, if I'm really honest. I was there at 1 o'clock. I sort of walked the pitch at 1 o'clock, as I always do, just have a look at the surface. I couldn't believe how good it was. It was probably one of the best surfaces we'll play on this season. To then sort of carry on with business, to then go back at 2 o'clock to meet the referee with the Hendon official and hand over the team sheet and get the sort of match day brief, to be informed by the referee that we were then going back out to inspect the pitch, took me by real surprise. In fact, I did say to him that surely nothing that's going to affect the start of the game. To which he said, well, we'll inspect it. And I politely asked if we could go with him, which we did, and then carried out the inspection. Absolutely dismayed that the two areas he was talking about were actually off the pitch, which the referee was sort of quoting player safety, which I can accept to a certain point. However, for two soft areas off the actual playing surface, his head was firmly in that if someone stepped off the pitch and tried to plant their foot, they would receive an injury, which, I can get to a certain extent, but I think there's far greater risk on harder ground than there is softer ground. And when the actual playing surface is in first-class condition, considering how far we travelled, considering what time we'd left, considering by this time we were getting towards 2:30 and the ground was filling up, and there was only one person in the ground that didn't want to play it, and that was the referee. So really, really disappointing, and I really, really feel for any of the Gosport fans that made the trip. Must have been, it was heartbreaking for us. The lads were halfway through their warm-up. Everyone geared up to play. In all my years now of football at varying levels, I've never witnessed anything like that before. I'm still absolutely dismayed by that.
Well, it's like you said, it was a bit of a stupid reasoning, because looking at the pictures, it wasn't even on the pitch, and it was probably one of the best pitches in the league, like you mentioned. And I think the thing that made it more annoying was the journey up, because me and my dad went up to the game, along with many other Borough fans. It's a 2 hour journey up and then another 2 hour journey back. So that was quite annoying. But how more annoying is it for the players as well? Because you're cramping another game into a shorter period, and surely this is just going to result with even more injuries to the players.
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter if you're a fan, if you're a player, if you're a manager, coach, supporter, whatever capacity you're there in, you gear yourself up to play on a Saturday or a Tuesday, whenever it is. And I think we all accept we're going to lose games due to the weather or for other circumstances. But to lose one for 2 hours off the pitch, like I said, I'm still struggling to get over it myself. I certainly made my feelings known to the official, as did Mark Molesley, the Hayes manager. I think it's probably worse for the players, if I'm really honest, because obviously they're halfway through a warm-up, and they are, in the mental and sort of physical stage of preparing and getting set for what they're going to have to do in 30 minutes' time. I've just never seen anything like it. That's all I can say.
Well, before we get on to the positive bit, I just wanted to speak a bit more about the negative bits as well. Because the game before we played Bognor and it was a 3-0 defeat. But what went so wrong against Bognor? Was it just solely the red card or maybe the Bognor home advantage? Or could you just explain to me what went wrong during that game?
Yeah, I don't think there's too much that went wrong, if I'm being really honest. It's very probably difficult to say that when we've been beat 3-0 and it's the first time we've looked like we've been out of a game probably this season. But I think for anyone there, I think, we started relatively well. I think we played some really good football in really good spells. The game hinged on the red card. There's no two ways about that. But even when we were down to 10 men, and particularly when we started the second half, we had a really, really good spell. There were some friends of mine there, actually from Bognor, who were saying that they couldn't work out, the start of the second half, who was the team that was actually down to 10 men, because we were moving the ball so well. But you're always going to be up against it, and we are particularly disappointed with the way we conceded the second and third goal. We can't hide from that. So probably, if we were going to pinpoint anything, the red card we felt was very unjust. Both of the lads went to ground early. Both slid into each other. I don't think there was anything in the referee's decision making that considered the surface. And I think it was a real shame, because I think up until the red card, it was probably a really, really good cup tie, local derby. Everyone looking forward to it, and there was a lot of people that turned up to watch it, and I think everyone turned up to watch two teams of 11 play against each other. And when one's reduced to 10, it certainly sways the advantage, to the other team. And like I said, I actually don't think we played that badly. I think like I said, with the 10 men, that being a disadvantage, and the manner we conceded the second and third goals like we did probably just took the game away from us. I think we've actually played worse and won this season in other games.
Well, looking at it now, hopefully it might be a bit of a blessing in disguise. So now we can focus on the league and cups like the Pompey Senior Cup and those sort of competitions. But many fans were quite confused with Harry Kavanagh. So will he actually serve any bans involved in the league, or was it actually just restricted to FA Cup competitions?
No, Harry Kavanagh will serve a 3-game ban, and that will be starting on Saturday when we play Hendon. They, depending on what the offence is, sometimes can be immediate. If it's like 5 bookings, that's normally immediate. Sometimes they can take 7 days to come through. Sometimes it all depends when the referee puts his or her report in. But no, I can confirm that Cav is banned for 3 games now, starting Saturday.
So now looking ahead at Hendon, do you think the previous offence we just touched upon will spur the boys on a bit more this Saturday to make sure they return back with the 3 points?
Yeah, I don't think the lads need anything to spur them on, really. We've got a good group. We've got a good mix in the group of experience and and youth in the group. I think we look forward to every game. We're certainly confident going into every game. It feels to me like a little bit of a reset. Having not played Bognor on the Saturday, having played on the Monday, then we couldn't train on the Thursday because the facility was shut due to the storm. Then with Saturday being called off. And we've trained sort of being back in this week. It feels to me like it's a little bit fresh. Feels like we've had a break. I'm certainly looking forward to getting back at home. I think the crowds have been fantastic at home. Who doesn't look forward to playing at home? We were really well supported. It's a good place to be at the moment. The atmosphere is good. So hopefully everyone's looking forward to being back this Saturday, and looking forward to what will be a really, really tough game when you look at Hendon's recent form, and actually, well, not just their recent form, when you look at how well they've done this season so far.
Well, you spoke a bit about their recent form there. I think one of their most remarkable wins was actually last week against Murphy Town with the 1-0 win against another big team. So does this add a bit more spice to this clash?
Well, I think when you look at their recent record, they've beaten Dorchester, they've beaten Walton, they've beaten Merthyr. They were only beaten by Chesham, and we all know Chesham are a very good side. And they've actually only lost 3 league games this season. They've had an incredible amount of draws. And they're only sort of 1 game worse off for us defeats wise. So I think, like I've written my program notes, it's going to be a really, really tough game. What we are finding now is, since we've sort of started so well, teams are certainly coming and playing differently against us now. A lot of teams are coming in, a lot of teams are coming with that low block, trying to draw us on and hit us on the counter. So every game's tough in this league. But a lot of the teams are all a much of muchness, and it's just about a little bit of consistency and a little bit of quality in the right areas. So I think Saturday's going to be incredibly tough. But that's why we do it. We enjoy these tough tasks, and we'll certainly be well prepped with having Tuesday and Thursday behind us. And like I said, hopefully fresh and raring to go for Hendon on Saturday.
Well, another good team who's having a good season so far is Salisbury, who obviously collected the 3 points last week and actually knocked us off at the top of the table. So now, do you feel the league is really starting to heat up? And do you feel as though every point really matters now? Even looking at the Premier League, for example, Liverpool losing the league by 1 point. Is this a good example why we need to make sure we guarantee every point possible?
Yeah, absolutely. I think people start to focus. I mean, everyone's focuses on points. But yeah, I mean, when everyone's getting towards the sort of business end, when you're looking at March and April, everyone's starting to get really concerned about a point here and 3 points there. But the point you get in August or September or October, or the win you get in November is just as important, because obviously all those points add up to our total at the end of the season. You can't hide that we are exceeding what probably most people thought we would achieve this season. But having said that, now we're up there. It's our job to make sure we stay up there, and if we can't stay on top, then we must make sure now that we stay in the playoff positions. And every game we go into, we go in to try and take maximum points from it. Sometimes, like Salisbury away, we might play a little bit different, and we might try and maybe sit a little bit deeper ourselves and try and catch your position. But you can be rest assured that we are trying to win every game, and the way we play only sort of backs up that theory.
Well, it's safe to say on the football terms, we're definitely not going to be disappointed with the upcoming games. I'm sure all Borough fans are looking forward to it. And another thing Borough fans should be looking forward to is the Remembrance Service. Obviously, it's a big part of Gosport's history, especially being a naval town. And can you just give us a bit of an overview of what this Remembrance Service could look like?
Yeah, I can give you a bit of a light overview, because I know the club has put an incredible amount of work into what's going on Saturday. And I know Jeremy Fox has put a lot of work into what's going on Saturday. I know there will be veterans there from HMS Sheffield and HMS Exeter, but were naval units that served in the Falklands. We've got our you can't not see that Gosport is sort of steeped in military tradition, with the military bases that are currently in Gosport. So I think it's only right that we do something to show our respects and sort of show our tribute to all the people that currently serve in the forces or have served in the forces previously, and tragically those that have lost their life sort of serving for all of us. So hopefully, with what Jeremy has done and what the club's put in place, it will be a really good tribute from the football club and the people of Gosport to those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for us.
Well, it's safe to say I think Saturday's going to be a brilliant day. So Borough fans, make sure you don't miss it and come down to Privet Park to support the boys. Mark, I think you know how to end the episode. Can you say the final words? Up the Borough.
Up the Borough.
Final words from me. Up the Borough.